Okay, a rural water district is required to set aside enough water for 2 hours of fire protection at a rate of 250 gallons per minute. How many gallons must it set aside? So, we take a look at the words here. We need 2 hours of fire protection, and the rate is 250 gallons per minute. So, sometimes you multiply, sometimes you divide, sometimes you add, sometimes you subtract. So sometimes for me, when I'm looking at these things, I'm asking myself, I look at the units and I kind of ask myself, what operation is going to give me the unit I need? So if we write down what I need, what I do know. I know the amount of time is equal to 2 hours. And I know the rate of I guess the rate the water comes out is 250 gallons per minute. Now the first thing I notice about this problem is the units of time don't agree with each other. All right, I've got a unit of hours for the time, and I've got a rate of gallons per minute for the rate of water usage. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to make my time the same amount of units. So I can either make this gallons per hour, or I can make this hours into minutes. I think changing hours to minutes is easier, right? So I'm going to take it's 2 hours over 1. I'm going to multiply by 60 minutes over 1 hour. That blue fraction there is known as a unit fraction. It equals 1 because the top amount and the bottom amount are the same amount, just with different units on them. So 60 minutes is exactly the same time as 1 hour. Does everybody agree with that? And when you divide something by itself, you get 1, therefore a unit value, right? But it has different units on it. And then we have an hour unit on top and an hour unit on bottom that cancel out. And it's up to you to position it correctly for that to happen. So I could have put 1 hour over 60 minutes. That would have made hours squared over minutes. That's no good. So hours was on top. I want to make sure hours goes on bottom for cancellation. So to get the answer, since both numbers end up on top, we're going to multiply. So 120 minutes is the same as 2 hours. So again, they have to have enough water to last 2 hours, but that's the same as 120 minutes. Next, I'm looking at the two things here, two numbers, and I'm asking myself, add, subtract, multiply, divide, what's going to give me the right answer? Okay? If we take a look at the structure of this, it's, anytime you see the word per, this is the top unit. After the word per, that's the bottom unit. All right, so gallons on top, per minute on bottom. All right? So if we think about adding, if I add 250 gallons per minute to 120 minutes, those units don't match. Adding, like the first problem, we had everything in feet, right? We added them all up, we got a feet answer. If the units don't match, adding and subtracting is no good. So now we're just to multiply and divide. Okay. Now, just like I saw here, hours on top, hours on bottom, right? This 120 minutes, that's a whole number structure. That's 120 minutes. Minutes is on top. Here, minutes is on the bottom. If I multiply them as they currently exist, the minutes are going to cancel, getting me the unit of gallons I'm looking for. So, I know the amount of water needed should equal 250 gallons per minute times 120 minutes over 1. If I do a simple quick check here just to make sure, again, I want to make sure that things are where they belong to get the unit I'm looking for. We're looking for the number of gallons, right? If I multiply these two things together, these two fraction structures together, the unit of minute on the bottom and the unit of minute on top are going to cancel out, leaving me with the unit of gallon that I was looking for. Okay, so that tells me that multiplication is going to be useful in this problem. So all I have to do is multiply 250 times 120. Come over here, 250 times 120. One little trick about multiplication that you may have been taught back in 5th fifth, sixth grade, maybe you didn't, maybe you learned about it, but you forgot about it. When numbers end in 0, the bottom number ends in 0, you can slide it over. So 250 times 120, if I just bring this 0 straight down and then start multiplying from that 2, that is allowed. 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 makes 5. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 2 is 2. 0, 0, 0, 10, so 0 carry the 1, 3. So 30,000 gallons would be necessary.